2023 Ford Bronco review, covering them all from Big Ben to Raptor. And from 2-door to 4-door, manual to automatic, soft top to hardtop. There's so many. Pros: go anywhere capability, unique style, trim level variety, 2 and 4-door options, strong engines, it's a convertible. Cons: loud, strange digital instruments, interior materials quality, wonky cloth roof fitment, parking. The ultra-wide Raptor. There are a lot of 2023 Ford Bronco variations, which means there is a lot to cover in this review. That variety is definitely part of the Bronco's appeal, though, as offering 2 and 4-door body styles, 2 transmissions, 3 engines, soft and hardtop roofs, and a multitude of trim levels, including the new for 2023 Ford Bronco Raptor, should provide just the right combination of capability and style for any would-be Bronco owner. It's honestly not that different in that way from the Jeep Wrangler, but the Bronco certainly isn't just a Jeep knockoff. It has key advantages: it's more pleasant to drive on road, has more cargo space, and there's no denying the appeal of having the new kid on the block. Jeep counters with more fuel-efficient diesel and plug-in hybrid powertrains, plus greater availability than the hard-to-come-by Bronco. Both are pretty rough around the edges, though, especially in terms of interior noise, so you definitely have to be aware that you're in for a much different experience than you'd find in a more civilized crossover SUV. Even a more rugged one like the Jeep Grand Cherokee. For more in-depth thoughts on all those different Bronco variations, read on. What's new for 2023? There are new trim levels for the 2023 Bronco, the Heritage Edition and the mighty Bronco Raptor, which you can read all about in our first drive review. This is also the first full model year for the Bronco Everglades, which you can read all about in this first drive review. Beyond that, there are no changes besides the desert sand and cyber orange paint colors being replaced by azure gray and robin's egg blue. What are the Bronco interior and in-car technology like? The Ford Bronco interior delivers a suitably rugged and retro-inspired design that goes well with its exterior. Those models that get an extra splash of color here or there are standouts, but in general, it's appropriately one of the more characterful cabins out there. There are also a number of thoughtful details well suited for the Bronco's rugged use: rubber-lined grips that help you climb aboard and keep you in place, rubber-encased buttons, roof-mounted auxiliary switches, a lockable center console bin, Maillet strap connectors on the front seat backs, and storage bags for the doors and roof panels with diagrams that explain how you properly Tetris them inside the cargo area. There's also no shortage of modern features available, most notably those associated with Ford's latest Sync 4 infotainment system. Although the general user interface is the same, there are standard 8-inch, pictured, and optional 12-inch screens available. We still prefer the Jeep Wrangler's Uconnect system, but Sync 4 is perfectly agreeable and easy to use. We're not fans of the digital instrument cluster, though. There's a too small digital speedometer that parrots a redundant too small analog speedometer at the left, and worst of all, a strange tachometer that consists of a vertical bar graph and the number of your revs divided by 1000. While this isn't an issue in an automatic-equipped Bronco, it requires too much mental recalibration when using the manual transmission, and worse, the display washes out in direct sunlight, which isn't infrequent in a convertible. There's also no way to change this design despite it being digital. Thankfully, the Bronco Raptor has a fully digital display with a more conventional gauge design. The biggest downside of the Bronco interior, however, is the disappointing materials quality throughout. Most of the plastics are hard and seem likely to be scratched. Those in the cargo area of our low-miles test Bronco were already a bit rough. This will likely be a bigger deal in pricier Bronco trim levels. While we're not expecting Land Rover ambience in the Bronco, what's present is nevertheless of a lower ilk than what you'd find in the Wrangler or Toyota 4Runner. It should also be noted that the available cloth roof and plastic windows often look a bit haphazard and not as well executed as those on the Wrangler. How big is the Bronco? We had a number of people come up to us and ask whether the Bronco 4-door was in fact the baby Bronco Sport. They were expecting it to be bigger, perhaps more like the F-150-based Bronco of OJ infamy. It's not quite that big, but the 4-door is still a mid-size SUV with a family-friendly back seat, a Britax rear-facing child seat easily fit without moving the front seat too much, and a cargo area that betters the Wrangler Unlimiteds. You can get an idea of how much both can carry, plus the Land Rover Defender and Toyota 4Runner, in our Bronco luggage test comparison. The new Bronco Raptor is only available as a 4-door, but its track and overall width are about 9 inches more. That's wide enough to require government-mandated yellow marker lights in the grille. While that may not matter in the wide open stretches of desert where the Raptor is meant to devour at high speeds, on tighter trails or, more realistically, parking lots, well, good luck. As for the Bronco 2-door, it loses a lot more than just a pair of doors. Its wheelbase and length are both 15.7 inches shorter, which is a significant amount. While the backseat only loses 0.6 of an inch of legroom, the cargo area implodes from 35.6 cubic feet to 22.4 cubic feet. That's the difference between a midsize SUV and a subcompact one, and indeed, we could only fit 5 of our standard luggage desk suitcases into the 2-door, an amount comparable to a subcompact SUV.